came around to say hello. One, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
Well, Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you. I want to ask you because there are many questions that are being raised. Questions on why there is no coexistence between Lutyens and Gopalachari. Why is it being done ahead of elections? Why, are questions on trade deal and Epstein files being avoided? Is this just a distraction tactics? And above all, each one of them rooting for Lutyens' legacy to remain. What do you call this colonial hangover? Next, they will want General Dyer to be eulogized. Yahi baki bacha hai.
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It's a wonderful debate, but I believe we need to go, a layer beyond what we are discussing. I've always believed this, Navika, that nations weaken not because of their past, but rather by how they are taught it. And for 70 years, we've been taught to forget historical injustices, racism, bigotry, pillaging, genocides. From Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, Babarpur to Bakhtiarpur, Allahabad to Aurangabad, Martan to Mathura, Lucknow to Lutyens, these injustices have deliberately been made visible as though to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. And the irony is that the same people who have taught us to forget historical injustices, drilled this self-loathing in us, these same people want others to fight historical injustice around the world. They condemn barbarians and bigots of the West either to worship like Confederacy generals, Rhodes, Churchill, Pizarro, Murray, Colston, Leopold. They celebrate their roads and buildings being renamed, their statues being brought down. But here in India, this same set eulogize barbarians and bigots like Tipu, Aurangzeb, Babar, Khilji, Lutyens. It's a heady mix of hatred for India and love for its breakups. Edwin Lutyens was one of the most racist, bigoted charlatans of his era. He referred to Indians as fat blacks, reflecting his disgust at sharing spaces with them. While visiting Delhi College in Indore, he described the Indian students as little M chaps. And you know what stands for? He called Tamilians as, quote, scallywags. Awful faces, to me degenerate, very dark, very naked, awful habits. He said Indians should be reduced to slavery and not given rights of man, beaten like beasts and shot. He claimed it was not possible for Indians and whites to mix freely. Marrying them, he said, would be filthy and beastly. This is the same Lutyens who was paid an enormous sum to design New Delhi to showcase imperial might and power of subjugation. Why should we glorify him? We haven't demolished his bust, just replaced it. The same idiots who are outraging at this were rejoicing when the racist, bigoted King Leopold's bust was demolished just 30 seconds. Navika, history cannot be and must not be changed or whitewashed, but it must be brought out truthfully. And as for those who say, why then are President and Prime Minister occupying the buildings Lutyens designed? Fair point, yes, I wouldn't. But then the logical counterpoint is that Lutyens was paid for his work, and those who actually built his buildings were Indians. It's their sweat and blood, their money. Navika, Lutyens was a racist bigot. We should not glorify or eulogize him, especially a man who shamelessly copied the 11th century Yogini temple design and made the parliament building without even acknowledging the inspiration. And lastly, 10 seconds. His great grandson, you mentioned, the writer Matt Ridley, is every bit a racist and bigoted scum as Lutyens because he refuses to acknowledge Lutyens' racism and bigotry. If you can't see through racism, you are a racist.